Welcome. In this video, we're going to take a look at all the cards in the GAMORA Hero Pack for Marvel Champions, a card game. So another Guardian has made its way to the table. So in this, we're going to have a 60-card Hero Pack, including one complete pre-built GAMORA deck, 27 new cards that can be added to any hero deck, and a Nemesis set featuring Nebula. So let's go ahead and crack this on open and take a look at what we've got inside. So we're going to have our nice poster of GAMORA. And her flavor text: trained and tormented from a young age to the mad titan Thanos, GAMORA is the deadliest woman in the galaxy, able to wield nearly any item as a weapon and dispose of enemies with fatal finesse. She now travels with the Guardians of the Galaxy, determined to put an end to the same suffering she once endured. So let's see, for the FAQ, do the 6 attack and or thwart events that GAMORA may include in her deck count toward her minimum and maximum? Yes, it will. While she may include events in her deck outside of her chosen aspect, these events are still counted as part of both her minimum and maximum, and she is coming with aggression. So let's see if we can get this pack on open and take a look. Now, typically I don't have too much information on cards that I open up, but I was online and met with Alan and his son Brendan, and they let me take a quick look at some of her cards. And while she's got some impressive things, we quickly noticed that these Nemesis cards are terrible. So let's see what all we have here. For GAMORA, 4-2, attack of 2, 2 defense, hero form, finesse, response: after you play an attack event, remove 1 threat from a scheme, limit once per phase. Precision, response: after you play a thwart event, deal 1 damage to an enemy, limit once per phase. And size of 5 and 10 hit points. So she's got great stats starting off there and nice abilities that when she does, like I said, when she's attacking, removing little threats, always nice as a bonus. And when she's thwarting, doing a little damage. So I'm liking that effect there. Alter Ego, recovery of 3. Skilled Tactician, you may include up to 6 attack and or thwart events in your deck from aspects other than your chosen aspect. That is pretty neat for deck building. So even though she comes with aggression, they're throwing in some other things. So, and like I said, they don't have to be, like I said, if you go aggression, you don't have to say, well, I'm taking 6 from Justice. You can split those up. So if you wanted to, you could take 2 from Justice, 2 from protection, and then 2 from leadership, just to get her well-rounded if you wanted to. So moving on, as an action, look at the top card of your deck. If that card is an attack or thwart event, draw it. Very nice. So I feel like fairly decent percentage-wise. When she's in this form, she's going to end up with 7 cards. Liking what we see there. So starting off with her base 15 cards, we've got Nebula, cost of 2 thwart, 2 attack, and this is going to get interesting with the villain and Nemesis cards because they are Nebulas and uniques, so depending on how they pop up, some might not be able to even come into play. So thwart of 2, attack of 2, 2 health. After she enters play, search your deck for an attack or thwart event and add it to your hand and shuffle your deck. For 2 cost ally that has good stats and searches for something, that's an awesome card. Acrobatic move, got 2 of those. 0 cost event, that's an attack. Deal 2 damage to an enemy, and compounded with her base card, it's going to be 2 damage and remove a threat. And 0 cost, so just playing this card. It seems like good for me. Then we have a 1 cost event, cross counter, attack, defense, and thwart. Hero interrupt: when you would take any amount of damage, prevent 3 of that damage, deal 1 damage to an enemy, remove 1 threat from a scheme. So that is going to trigger, that's once per phase, so you can do it on your turn and the villain. So she's going to defend, prevent that, deal a damage to an enemy, remove a threat from a scheme, and the way I'm reading it, it's going to trigger those also. So really it's dealing damage to an enemy, another damage to an enemy, remove a threat from a scheme, remove another threat from a scheme. And you're preventing 3 of the damage coming your way. Seems pretty powerful. All right, 2 set the pace. Remove a threat from a scheme, which means with this, we're also going to do a damage to an enemy. Not quite as powerful because the other one removed 2 damage, I believe. Yep. So threat and damage are not the same here, but still a 0 cost event to do something. All right, Decisive Blows, 2 of those, 2 cost events. Hero action, deal 4 damage to an enemy, 7 damage instead if you have played a thwart event this turn. So 2 cost for 4, pretty good. 2 cost for 7, pretty awesome. 4 momentum, 2 cost event, thwarting. Hero action, remove 3 threat from a scheme, 5 threat instead if you have played an attack event this turn. So just doing the opposite of that, just not as powerful. Off to the conditioning room, a 1 cost support, alter ego action. Exhaust this, return the bottommost attack or thwart event from your discard pile to your hand. Heal 1 damage from GAMORA. So that's pretty nice. So alter ego, we're going to recover 3 and then hopefully recover 1 more damage. Lots of combos going on. Then Keen Instincts, 1 cost upgrade. Exhaust Keen Instincts, generate a wild resource for an attack or thwart event. All right, so it's got some resource generation, and it's wild for just attacks and thwarts, so very nice. And her final card, 3 cost upgrade. She's got her sword. If you play an attack event, deal a damage to an enemy. And I am loving some of the cards in this. Hoping it's going to work as good as my brain is telling me it's going to work. Okay, moving on with the rest of her pre-con deck. Of course, we've got our 3 resource cards, Energy, Genius, and Strength. Look at our aggression cards. So we've got Angela, 0 cost. Thwart of nothing, attack of 2, 3 health. Force response. After Angela enters play under your control, search the top 10 cards of the encounter deck for a minion and put it in play engaged with you. Shuffle the encounter deck. If the minion was not put into play this way, discard Angela. All right, well, that's interesting. Looking for a minion. If you don't find one, you don't get to play that, so that's kind of risky. Not a huge fan of that. But if it does work, she's going to deal some damage to that minion starting off with. All right, then we have 3 clobbers, 2 cost event. It's an attack, hero action, deal 3 damage to an enemy. If this is the first card you have played this round, return this card to your hand. Nice. So basically it is a, well, it's the 2 cost basic card that came in the original set. Can't think of the name right now. Pay 2 to deal 3, except this comes back to your hand potentially to do it again. So not bad. Aggression. Hulk's going to like this one too, maybe. Then we have 3 plans of attacks, 0 cost events. It's an action, search the top 4 cards of your deck, top 7 cards instead if you are in alter ego form. For an attack event, and add that card to your hand. Shuffle your deck. So you're just trading this for an attack event. So you definitely want to make sure you've got plenty of those in your stack when you play this. Then we've got some uppercuts. We've seen those before. Haymaker's the card I was thinking of. So Haymaker was the original 2 cost event for 3 damage. So, I mean, it's basically you're pitching 3 cards to do 3 damage, but you get this back and you can do 2 Haymakers / clobbers 1 turn. Of course, the uppercuts we've seen before. Spend 3 to deal 5. Then with protection, 1 cost event, first hit. Nice art there. Hero action, deal 2 damage to the villain. Hero interrupt. When a minion initiates an attack, deal 2 damage to that minion. That's nice. So it's almost like a first strike. You can hit it before it hits you, potentially take it out. Then we have 3 impedes, 2 cost event, remove 3 threat from the main scheme. If this is the first card you played this round, return it back to your hand. So there they've got the clobber in this card equal, paying 2 to do 3 of each. Got 2 combat trainings. So that's giving us +1 attack. And then the Godslayer. Restricted, when your hero makes a basic attack against a unique enemy, exhaust Godslayer, your hero gets +2 attack for that attack. 3 cost upgrade. All right, I see some potential there. All right, basic cards. Drax, 3 cost ally, 4/1, attack of 3, 4 health. Play only if your identity has a guardian trait. Drax cannot attack minions. But for 3 costs, it does 3 damage and 4 health. We'll take that. And then 3 hit and runs, 3 cost event. It's an attack and thwart. Hero action, deal 2 damage to an enemy, remove 2 threat from a scheme. So that is a nice basic card. So then we can move on to her obligation. Unfulfilled destiny. Give to the GAMORA player. You may flip to alter ego form and then choose. Exhaust your alter ego, remove this from the game, or choose and discard 2 events from your hand and discard this obligation. There's definitely worse things out there, so not too bad. Then we have a sibling rivalry for the side scheme. Players other than GAMORA cannot remove threat from sibling rivalry. So that's interesting that they're making this that she's got to deal with it herself and no one else can help her. Force response. After the villain phase begins, deal 1 face down encounter card to GAMORA. Ooh, goodness. Yeah, she's going to take care of that quick. Getting an extra encounter card, and it's just for her. Nasty. The Nebula herself. Schema 1, attack of 2, 5 health, retaliate 2. That is nasty. Forced interrupt. When this minion would enter play, discard the Nebula ally from play. All right, so they answered that question. So our good Nebula can be discarded from this being in play. But if she is in play and this is in your hand, yep, you're just out of luck. You're going to have to deal with her first. All right, in a bind. Attached to GAMORA. Treat GAMORA's printed text box as if it was blank. So all the good things we have there. And on this side is blank with this attachment. Hero action, choose and discard an attack event from your hand and deal 1 damage to GAMORA to discard this card. That shouldn't be too hard to get rid of, just a little pain. But these are the 2 things that I was playing with Alan, and of course he was playing GAMORA, and they popped up as my encounter every time. I think he dealt with this 3 or 4 times. He just locked down the whole time. When revealed, stun and confuse GAMORA. She's already stunned and confused. The card gains surged. Or stun and confuse her if she's already stunned or confused. Gains surge. That is just flat out nasty. All right, so that is everything for GAMORA, because now we have stopped. So we've got her set there, and we will look at the rest of the cards in this set. So for Justice, 2 pivotal moments, 2 cost event, or sorry, 3 of them, cost of 2. Hero action, deal 2 damage to the villain, 5 damage instead if there is no threat on the main scheme. Interesting, liking that. Then we have 3 comms implant, 1 cost upgrade, attached to a guardian ally, max 1 per ally. Attached ally gets +1 thwart and +1 hit point. Then we have 3 true grits, 1 cost event. Response, after your hero defends against an enemy attack, remove threat from scheme equal to your hero's thwart. All right, pretty interesting. And then enhanced reflexes. So they're giving us 3 more of these. These look very familiar. Pretty sure we have those already. Exhaust enhanced reflexes, remove 1 energy counter from it, generate an energy resource. So that is everything in the hero pack for GAMORA. As always, hope you enjoyed this unboxing and look at all the cards. So please click on the like button below and be sure to subscribe. Thanks for watching.